Namaste, my friends. Welcome back to the Ancient Wisdom channel. Today we are doing tips for the new moon for all 12 signs. And the new moon is upon us. It started on May 19th, 2023 at 11:54 a.m. Eastern Time in the United States. You can add 9.5 hours for India and go back, take away 3 hours for California in the United States. Before I begin, I want to explain a few things that will help everybody understand what's really going on and where we're coming from. The first thing is that I will be talking about the sidereal positions and not the tropical Western positions. So the new moon is actually taking place in the sign of Taurus in the nakshatra of Kritika. So I feel that the message of this is wherever this conjunction of the sun and the moon is transiting in your chart, it's really wanting us to sort of cut out whatever is unnecessary in that area of our life. So if we look at this from the natural zodiac, Taurus takes up the second house. So that has to do with family in general, our values, and physically speaking, the mouth. So be careful what you speak. It doesn't matter where Taurus falls in your chart. That can be applied to any rising sign or moon sign. It's always good practice to do that, and I think it's pointing to that. So I suggest that everybody listen to my general reading of Aries and apply that as well. In fact, I think listening to all the signs, there'll be a message for everybody, no matter what your sign is. But mostly these things apply to your rising sign and your moon sign. So Kritika cuts. The symbol is a cutting instrument. And so that means making decisions, sometimes hard decisions, and letting things go. Because it is a fierce nakshatra, we have to be careful with our words, because words can hurt and words always create. So here we are with the chart of the new moon, and I'm going to first place it in the sign of Aries as the first house. And again, I recommend that everybody listen to Aries, because there'll be a message for everyone here, because it's the natural zodiac. So in my notes, oh yes, I forgot to mention that when we look at transits and charts, there are many ways of analyzing their effects and how they affect us. For example, we can look at directions. We can look at directions of our neighborhood, our home, our room. We can look at how the houses apply to the body, to our families. And so while I was making these notes, I really went to whatever came to me first, trusting that my intuition is going to be helpful to whoever happens to listen to this video and will be for the highest good. And I request that from the divine, that it apply for the highest good of all. So here we are in Aries, and we're looking at the actual new moon happening in the second house, which again has to do with a family. I'm sorry for these pauses. So everyone, especially Aries ascendants and Aries moon people, please be careful with your words. Also, what came out to me was you have Jupiter, Rahu, and Mercury in the first house. Mercury is now moving off its previous moving toward Jupiter and Rahu, and also being in retrograde. So I think that you're going to be getting a little bit of relief there with regards to communication, maybe siblings, and any kind of arguments and things like that. However, you have Jupiter and Rahu, and they're heading right toward each other. And I felt like it was like having the divine voice sitting on one shoulder and the devil on the other side. I don't want to sound too harsh, but let's just take this as a metaphor that you might be of two minds and you might be tempted to do the wrong thing. It's as if you'll be arguing with yourself. So please do use the wiser choice, which is the voice of Jupiter, in your decisions. Here are Taurus ascendants, and this is happening in your first house. If you have a birthday around this time, you need to practice being humble and be extra mindful when handling sharp objects due to the aspect of Kritika on your house of physical self. Choose the honest way to protect your sibling where there might be a choice there. Your parents might be scrutinizing your partner, so bring peace and love to the situation. For Gemini ascendants, you have the Kritika new moon happening in your 12th house. So I suggest use this time to clear out your closets and to take some private time and to make donations. For Cancer moon and ascendant, you have this new moon happening in your 11th house of wishes and gains and elder siblings. And you have Mars transiting your first house of physical self right now, plus Venus in your 12th house of the bedroom. So here's what I suggest. Don't be too hard on yourself. Instead, exercise gently to give Mars its outlet without being destructive. With Venus transiting your 12th house, that might enhance your love life, but be very, very generous with your partner. Make sure to be giving. Also, I suggest donating to women in distress or some charity like that. With the new moon in the 11th house, I strongly suggest writing down your goals and share them with people who are going to be unconditionally supportive. Maybe get a few very unconditionally supportive friends together, and all of you share your goals and desires, what you want to manifest in the next new moon cycle for about the next 4 weeks. For Leo ascendants, the new moon is transiting in your 10th house. So bragging about your accomplishments will lead to losses. Donate bottled water to police or firemen. Decisions will have to be made regarding your work life. Stick with your spiritual principles and avoid temptations. For Virgo ascendant and Virgo moon, This is happening in the ninth house for you. So I suggest discussing spiritual principles with trusted elders. A decision will have to be made regarding higher principles and values. Donate money to temples, spiritual teachers, or for higher education, or something along those lines. For Libra ascendants and moon sign, this new moon is happening in your 8th house. So decisions regarding your partner, your partner's family, insurance may have to be made. Surgeries to the lower abdomen and reproductive organs is not recommended right now. For Scorpio ascendants, this new moon transit, and this also applies to Scorpio moons, the transit is happening in your 7th house. And so decisions regarding partnerships, home life, sorry, one second. Okay, back to Scorpio ascendants. This transit is happening in your 7th house. So parents or parental figures could influence decisions regarding partnerships. The home life might feel restrictive and uncomfortable right now, but I'm feeling that it's best to stay rather than leave and fix the problems. Decisions around spouse's family will most likely come up. Exercising the legs would help to channel the Mars energy in your 9th house. For Sagittarius ascendants, the sun and moon is in your 6th house. And with this one, I had this feeling like there was an emphasis on the west-northwest direction. And I just happened to think about somebody I knew who has a Sagittarius ascendant and has some interest right now in going to that direction of the country. So that might apply to you. You might want to cut out unnecessary time-consuming habits in your schedule where maybe you're doing too much and it's taking up your time. So cutting these things out is likely to create opportunities for you to be more profitable. They say time is money. For Capricorn ascendant and moon, take extra care of the north and west areas of your home and the south area of your workspace. Visit a temple or go on a spiritual pilgrimage with your father and spouse, or a father figure and your spouse. Doing this might act as a remedy for your work life. Aquarius ascendant and moon. You probably have been feeling like times are a little rough right now because Saturn is sitting on your ascendant. This will pass. The new moon transit with Kritika Nakshatra is happening in your 4th house. So it's a good idea to clear the clutter in your home to channel this energy. Also, regarding Saturn, it might be good for you also to donate to less fortunate, hardworking people. Also, I noticed that Venus being in Ardra Nakshatra, which is also kind of a rough nakshatra, is sitting in your 5th house of children. So I would say be extra patient and loving with crying children, or of women of childbearing age. Finally, Pisces, ascendant and moon. The new moon transit in Kritika is positioned in your third house. So you might have to establish a boundary between yourself and your siblings or your neighbors. So if that happens, please be diplomatic and kind about it so that it doesn't affect you in a negative way in the future. Also, be a little extra protective of your kids and your maternal family. So there you are, my friends, my dear spiritual family. Here's a little extra treat for you. This is a beautiful triangle mandala created by Carefree Coloring. And if you're interested in that, you can go to my community posts, and there's a link for you there if you want to see more of that. They create gorgeous coloring books with a lot of care and integrity. So have a look at that. Thank you again for coming to this channel, Ancient Wisdom. Hope you'll like, subscribe, and share so that I can bring you more and more interesting videos to inspire and uplift your life. Lots of love, many blessings, and namaste.